Namaskar, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, and welcome to Dev Talks. This is Aadi in Bangladesh elections, huh? Bangladesh elections or selections or India's game, as what is being said. We have Mr. Deep Halder, sir. Thank you so much. Namaskar,
Namaskar.
once again. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ali. Always a
Uh,
pleasure.
we discussed the elections some time ago, and
Yeah,
we kind of said कि यार ये बहुत जबरदस्त होने वाला है. It's going to be quite crazy, and it
yeah,
didn't fail. It was quite crazy. So,
yeah.
what's your opening remark?
I am firstly cautiously optimistic
Mhm.
because we were discussing the rise of Jamaat. We'll come to that. Jamaat has risen because the last elections that Jamaat participated in was in 2008,
Mm.
where it won 2 seats. Now it's at 68. So those who are putting out headlines like Jamaat has, Bangladesh has voted against fundamentalism, need to reflect a little bit, pause a little bit, because 68 is a quite a big number. Okay, and especially now that the map is out, if you can see where some of the seats are closer to our borders, so it's a cause of concern. However, the fact that BNP has won such a decisive victory in the absence of the Army League, one must add, is reason for some cautious optimism. We can hope that Tariq Rahman, who has been out of the game and out of his country for 17 years and has just come back, is a more mature politician. And while he will keep Bangladesh first as he has promised, he will also not uh, tinker with the India-Bangladesh ties. That does not help his country or us, and he will move away from whatever the Yunus administration was doing for 1.5 years, which really, uh, of course, did not help Bangladesh and also really pissed off India quite a bit. So those are the opening remarks. I think in the absence of the Army League, uh, these are results to be, uh, like I said, to be cautiously optimistic about. Because imagine if it was a fractured mandate, or imagine if the worst fears would have come true, which is the Jamaat would have somehow, Jamaat NCP, the 11 party alliance that Jamaat was leading, would have come to power. So that didn't happen. It's a decisive victory. It's now up to Tariq Rahman to take his country forward. uh, so I mean, like I said, cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, I mean it's quite a quite an interesting thing when
Yes.
you see this. It's quite a sweep. एकदम. I didn't
Yeah, it's
expect
quite
it
a
to
sweep.
be.
Yes,
Yeah,
I didn't expect it at all. Especially, I'm sure you must have seen those videos that were coming out on the night
the Jamaat
before.
thing.
And yes, 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 yes. I mean, we don't know now who those people were. I mean, yes, I mean, there's also the mistake people do of stereotyping. I mean, not just in India, but even in Bangladesh. If you see somebody who looks like a huzur, you naturally think that it's Jamaat guys who are doing it, but you don't actually know. So not all of the ballot box stuffing might have been done by the Jamaat, or even if all of it was done by the Jamaat, it did not really lead to much
Was it
in terms of,
was it now
yeah,
Jamaat and US were having discussions? Was it the US pressuring Jamaat to make them win?
to make the BNP win.
Mm.
Uh, it might be because one of you. It might be because one of that there are two crazy characters, know them better than me, Ilyas Hussain and Pinaki Bhattacharya. So
Mm.
Pinaki
Mm.
has they're devastated by the results. And one of the things Pinaki said was, this is India plus America plus plus BNP win. So it might be, you don't know. I mean, you don't know how things played out at that end. But look, I'll tell you this. I covered the last elections, 7 January 2024, that brought Sheikh Hasina to power. It was a sham elections. I mean, because BNP, Hasina did not keep BNP out. BNP decided not to participate in it. The Supreme Court upheld the order that kept the Jamaat Islami out. And soon after Hasina came back to power, she banned Jamaat Islami. So without BNP, Jamaat, I have a very strong views on. But without BNP, if you fight an elections, I mean, what kind of elections will it be? But one of the things I noticed was, all these Indian journalists were taken, many of them my colleagues, I mean, people who I personally knew, they were put up in five-star hotels in Dhaka, okay, and they were sort of taken to a few specific booths where there were considerable number of voters, okay. So I knew that this is a sham because the day before I have traveled, and I knew journalists, very local journalists across Bangladesh's hinterland, who were sending me, like, who were video calling me on phone, and they were showing me completely empty polling booths, in
Yep.
various schools across Bangladesh.
Yes, security guard
This
were playing cricket with the kids, yeah.
Yeah, this time also the voting percentage must be around between 25 to 28%, and they are showing.
Wow.
Yeah. So in fact, there was an appeal by BNP and by others that please bring more people, because, so I mean, it's not what they're showing, and officially they're showing much more. I think close to 60%, but it was not definitely more than 28%. So and this is not a new thing that happened. At least in the previous election, which I was there on the ground, I know that it's not. See, everybody increases voting percentage a bit. These things. I mean, it happens across the subcontinent, but I think in Bangladesh, I don't know about Pakistan, but in Bangladesh specifically, it's a huge between reality and what is said. There's a huge gap. So this time, 25 to 28% was the voting percentage. They showed it closer to 60 or a little more. So that's that. So anyway, the results suit us for now. So I mean, what do we say? And I mean, it's a far better result than a fractured mandate or Jamaat coming to power. But the thing is that there are a lot of discrepancies, like it was in the elections before.
Yeah, yeah,
See,
yeah.
there is if you look at David Bogman, or that former American diplomat whose name I don't like taking.
Recommend.
Uh, yeah. So yeah. So if you look at what they are saying, and also many other foreign publications are saying, they're celebrating it as this return of electoral democracy and the first elections, proper elections after 17 years or 18 years. A lot of it is rubbish. This is as with Awami League out, with a voting percentage which is so low in reality. This is as sham an election as any other that we know of in recent years in Bangladesh. Only thing is, this is a result that we will come to that point. There's a result that suits Bangladesh, I dare say, and that suits India for now.
Okay, let me. I want to break this discussion down a little bit. Okay, so
Yeah,
you mentioned three things. So just to the audience, I'm going to break this down and we'll kind of discuss this separately. Firstly, the Jamaat BNP kind of linkage that happened resulted in. I mean, they were fighting on the streets like kids, and they were throwing sticks and stones, and all sorts of rubbish was happening. The army had to come in and really break that down quite a bit.
yeah,
I want to understand that. Then I want to understand, is the NCP wiped out?
yeah,
Now today, Naziful, what's his name, Nazirul Islam or whatever his name is, that bugger comes and says there is more than 10% rigging in every booth.
yeah,
So let's take these two and tell me what's the game here. I mean, Jamaat BNP kind of this thing, and then Jamaat was also linking up with the NCP. NCP completely lost, BNP completely won. It's a little weird, right?
yeah, yeah. It doesn't add up. The game doesn't add up, but unless there is an agreement, unless there is an agreement between the BNP and Jamaat, which is the worst case scenario, that we come up as a principal opposition. See, 68, like I keep saying, I know one of the tweets I did, and you saw that don't take eyes off the Jamaat. 68 seats are a huge number, right? I mean, we were very scared of Jamaat. I think one of our celebrity politicians, Shashi Tharoor, wrote about how scary the rise of Jamaat is. You remember that tweet he did after Jamaat won the Daksu polls, which is the
Mhm.
Dhaka
Yeah,
University
yeah,
Students' Union polls,
yeah.
and then he wrote a piece on the poll, on NDTV. And then Jamaat went on to win other students' body polls, but given, and then everybody started taking it seriously because it's a fixed game. But even then, 60. So there was this. The scare may have been. I mean, we may have also erred in being too scared. But even then, 68 seats, 60 is a huge number, right? So, and
Look at
look
where
at
they
the
won.
seats they won.
Look
Yeah,
at where
yeah.
they
So
won.
what if the scare
That
is,
belt.
Adi, and I hope it's just it's unfounded. for our sake that the scare is that it's a fixed game between BNP and Jamaat.
And you look at where they
Yeah,
won. They've won
yeah,
across the Indian border.
yeah,
They've not won in Tripura. They've not won in Assam. They've only won in
yeah.
West Bengal.
Yes, because NCP won just 6 seats. Okay, the party that literally came out of the July uprising or whatever terror attack, according to Sheikh Hasina. Uh, I mean, it's not a parallel in any way, but there was a big movement in Delhi. People tend to forget the Anna Hazare led movement, and then Anna Hazare was dropped, and Arvind Kejriwal formed his party. I mean, look at the electoral success of that party. I mean, no lives were lost. It was not a violent revolution, right? But it did have a certain kind of public support at that time.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
true.
I remember I was editor of Midday's Delhi edition at that time, and my young reporters started buying I am Anna caps, and one guy came to office saying may hu Anna, and I'm like, what rubbish is this? You're a reporter, go out and report, okay? And then when the party was formed, Aadmi party was formed, and the point is it went on winning election after election. This is literally 1.5 years before, and the party has been formed not even a year. I think sometime in the first, I think March April, they formed the party, National Citizen Party. So it's not even been a year since the party was registered. It And those are young leaders. We may not like them, but one would have thought that they have some kind of support. Only 6 seats, only six. They're decimated.
Yeah,
They were
they
in
are.
an alliance, so they did not fight all the seats. But even then, I mean, some of their top leaders lost.
Yeah.
Hasnat Abdullah, the India better, he won. No, he won. I'll come to that. So there's a,
No,
I
my
just
joke
heard.
was the joke was India better, not the fact that he won or
Yeah,
lost.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I don't know if it's a fixed game that okay, we give you a sizable number of seats, you become the principal opposition, right? It's a big thing that Jamaat is the principal opposition. There was a binary BNP Army League, right?
Let's leave this here. Now, the anti-India angle. This whole election
Yeah.
was fought. It was started with that anti-India Seven Sisters and all that, but that thing just
Yeah.
went.
Yes, that
Nobody
thing was
wanted
that.
to talk
Yes, now BNP is being blamed for being pro-India. Now, I mean, I don't know whether as Indians you and I should feel proud because 2024 they said it was an India election
about.
that brought Sheikh Hasina to power yet again, like it did in the two terms before. 2026 they have another election with Sheikh Hasina out of the country, her party banned, her party's political activities banned, and the guy she kept away from Bangladesh for so long. 17 years later, Tariq Rahman comes back to Bangladesh. Out of those 17 years, 15 years was direct Sheikh Hasina rule. He comes, his party wins a decisive victory, and again people are saying the word on the streets in
Yeah.
Dhaka is yeah, it's an India election. So I don't know, and one must feel proud, I guess, that
Not
India
just
is winning
Dhaka,
election after election in Bangladesh.
even the Bangladeshi social media is going berserk over India,
Yes,
India, India,
yeah,
India.
it's yet another election, and
Yeah,
Pinaki
yeah.
is saying that okay, now we know. He's blaming BNP for being the new Army League, that you have embraced India and you have embraced the ideals of 1971, so you are the new enemy. So it's crazy.
Okay. Uh, the second point I want to ask you is that the anti-India angle just didn't work. Nobody
And
mentioned it.
India, yeah, if you like, if you go by what we have officially, which
Mm.
is
Mm.
believing in the results and believing in the fact that it was somewhat free and fair, then the results do not reflect the success of an anti-India angle because BNP did not
Flip
go
it.
overboard, at
They,
least in the. Huh?
nobody was talking about it as well.
Yes, yes, yes. Only party that was talking about it was NCP because BNP did not really play up the anti-India angle. Neither did, interestingly, the Jamaat,
Come
because
on.
towards the
Yeah.
end, if you see what Jamaat was saying, that we should we want good relations with India. That was one of the last things that Shafiqur Rahman said. I think a little too late in the day. But the only party that consistently had an anti-India angle was NCP,
Mm.
and
Now,
they are
what
reduced to six, which gives more credence to conspiracy theorists in Dhaka who say that it was an India election.
credibility did Awami League have to literally boycott this election? Because if the voting percentage is so low, And a lot of
Yeah,
people credit that to Sheikh Hasina's call to avoid this election.
it's true, because Bangladesh has not Bangladesh has as a society. I mean, this thing is very hyped. Okay, the July uprising, it's very hyped. There was anti-incumbency, but there was anti-incumbency. Let me be clear, because I've been there. I mean, I know, I have been to the houses of people who are very attached to the Army League. Their relatives, their immediate relatives, like say their husbands or their wives, depending on who was doing Army League, they would in private, I have had nashta at their place, and they would in private talk about, this party again, it will come to power again, it will be a rigged election. So there was anti-incumbency. Let's be truthful here. However, what happened, after in this 1.5 year period, they also realized that Sheikh Hasina perhaps was not as bad as she was made out to be, right? And that's a real feeling. Also, psychologically, I think Bangladesh only remembers dictatorship, and nobody remembers Mujib, by the way. I mean, he's a statue, and he's an ideal, and he's whatever, he's this big figure in the Bangladesh's psyche. But nobody really remembers the time of Mujib, his the years he were in power, because most of those guys are very old now, right? But people remember either military dictatorships, or people remember Khaleda Zia and Sheikh Hasina. So the point I'm trying to make is that, it's very difficult for them to formulate a, a political scenario without BNP Awami League. It was Sheikh Hasina's political mistake of not being able to bring BNP back on the table. It was her biggest mistake, political mistake. She should have somehow convinced BNP to fight the 2024 elections. We would not have been where we are today if that would have happened. But she did not. I mean, people in power make mistakes. I think it was her biggest mistake before she lost power. But I think psychologically, people have not. They didn't come out. What you asked me, they didn't come out to vote in large numbers, because there's an Army League sized hole, right? And whoever came voted for BNP because they don't know anything else. They may from time to time, like what some of the NCP guys were saying, during the uprising or immediately after it, and then get disillusioned. Some of their religiosity may bring them closer to the Jamaat is extremely disciplined, okay, and Jamaat is very, very regimented. That may appeal to some, but on polling day, I think if they go and the ballot box does not have BNP and BNP, the vote and the Dhanesh, which are the two respective elections symbols of the Army League and the BNP, I think they're very confused. So most of
So
them
most
voted
of them voted
for the
for the.
Dhanesh, which is the party symbol of BNP.
For me, the most interesting thing was not the fact that there were less voters and everything. That somewhere down the line, I figured it out. Ki this is just going to be a eyewash, and I said this on one of my on one of my programs. Is that, yeah, everybody just wants a freaking election because they want somebody which says, "Hi, yaar, ye, this is, people have chosen him. Now we can deal with this guy,
Yeah.
good, bad, or ugly." And you remember we
Yes, yes,
spoke about
it's a
it
it's a
last
good
time.
thing. I mean, however the elections happened, not free and fair, but it's a good results. I mean, Bangladesh needed an election because anything apart from Yunus,
Yeah, yeah, because we
elected
spoke.
to none, for puppet, complete puppet, completely. I mean, look, everybody, it's a, the kind of country Bangladesh is, right? I mean, there is a problem of religious fundamentalism. Everybody has pandered to religious fanatics in one way or the other, including Sheikh Hasina. But you still have some accountability as a prime minister. This guy just gave a complete red carpet welcome to fundamentalists, while he was himself very different. I mean, in his personal beliefs and choices, life choices. But he gave a red carpet welcome to fundamentalists just to stay
that
on power.
I that I figured out. He created a ring of jihadis around him so
Yeah,
that
complete.
before anybody could breach him,
Yeah.
they had to go through all these jihadi layers that were there. It was
Yes,
not,
absolutely. I mean, he did. I remember I discussed with you those 433 recommendations, and I were
yeah, yeah.
extremely. I mean, I'm telling you, Adi, some of those recommendations would face problems in India, right? I mean, a lot of us would say, I mean, okay, let's debate this at least. But I mean, I was very impressed that, okay, here's a guy. The moment there was a rally, and big rally by Hefazat, that was the last you heard of those recommendations. And while he held up a book with the chief of the Women's Reforms Commission, and he said some of this should be immediately put out, implemented. Others, the future governments will debate. One big rally, that's the last. So, I mean,
Yeah.
he betrayed his own ideals,
Mm.
if there are any.
Now let's come to the India angle,
Yeah.
which is very interesting. So India rigged the election, huh? Rah, in action, huh? Rah.
Uh,
I mean, if you look at the narrative, and let's talk about
yeah.
what is being said. What is
Yeah.
being said is, and there are three, four wild theories. So I'm going to put,
Yeah.
basic this thing, and I don't want you to comment on it, but if you wish to do that, one is, oh, Indian agents met what's his name, Tariq Rahman in England, and they twisted him, and now see he's in their side, and see they brought him here. Second theory says first theory is true, but Sheikh Hasina is added to it because Sheikh Hasina is playing Tariq Rahman from the back. Okay.
Mm.
Third theory is that India has basically told US that, boss, we are going to attack Bangladesh. US said, no, no, don't do that. What do you want? We want our chap. So that this chap was brought in. And the fourth one, which is the wildest of them all, India basically wants Yunus out. Anybody's in there, and India will play the game because India has files on everybody. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to make out of these four theories, which has been running around. It's so funny. What
Yeah.
should I
Very
say?
funny.
I
Very,
have
very
got
funny.
DMs, people from Bangladesh asking, sir, what is true, sir? Did India play a game with us, sir? Oh, bhai, kuch nahi hai.
Let
What do
me
you
tell you
say to all
something.
this?
I'll say something different, but which you will which is somehow linked to all of this. I'll tell you that even at the highest level and also the mid senior level, Army League is very pissed with India.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, very, very pissed. They're not happy at all. I get angry calls from some of their leaders who are not in Bangladesh. Very angry calls that what have you guys done?
Mm.
While they're in India, many of them are in India. Okay, so and of course some of them are outside, but they're very, very angry.
But why? Tariq Rahman is our boy?
I mean, they don't say it, but they're not happy at all. Because look, let's come to the other point. Where does this leave Awami League? This is a very decisive mandate,
It's over. It's over for him
right?
because, see, there is
Yes,
no age. Sheikh Hasina has no age, no
yes,
future,
yes.
no
Her
next
son
generation.
is in the
It's over.
US. Yeah.
Mm.
So for now, it looks so. Look at it this way: what is good for India? Good with good, I will say with an asterisk and riders. Good for India is actually not. This election was not good for Army League. Because for India, a decisive mandate where they know, and decisive mandate, and a mandate like this, not a decisive mandate in favor of Jamaat, a decisive mandate where there is BNP, at least on the face of it, you can do business with this guy.
Mm.
Now, okay, India also has reached out, like our prime minister's tweets. Jaishankar flew down. That was quite a gesture. Flew down, met him, and he was not in power, right? She was not in power. There's a different government, even if it's an unelected interim government. There was a different government. So I mean, yes, she was a former prime minister, but you actually flew down while you have her biggest rival in your country
With you.
with you. So you flew down, you offered condolences, and the prime minister congratulated Tariq, sort of, and it was quite a tweet yesterday. So something like this, at least in the beginning of his term, helps India, but it does not help Army League. For Army League, a fractured mandate would have helped. An election that kept it away, kept the party away. So if you had a fractured mandate and a very sort of what should I say, a government, very unsteady government, right, with constant chaos, they perhaps would have seen an opening, you know. But this is a unless Tariq screws it up completely. This is a for the next 5 years. I mean, where is an opening? You have Tariq and you have Jamaat.
I somehow don't understand this about the Awami League as well, because you guys are, I mean, you don't have Sheikh Hasina is 78,
Yeah,
right? How long do you think she can march on? You don't have
yeah,
any second generation. She's not let anybody come across. Okay, fine. You guys are very this thing about your family, then let your family guy or somebody, brother, sister, uncle, auntie, somebody come in front. Now there is
Yeah,
no one.
but yes. So there, here's the point. I think I'll write a piece on this. So you give me an idea. So you remember that at Foreign Correspondents Club there was a presser by Army League
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, yeah.
So I was there at the presser. So before that presser, there was an interview that Joy, Sajib Wajid Joy, did with
Huh.
Srinivasan Jain of now Al Jazeera.
Al
Okay,
Jazeera.
but yeah, where Srinivasan Jain asked him a pointed question. Srinivasan Jain, I must add, has done some interesting interviews and asked some very good questions. The Jamaat was the way he stumped Shafiqur Rahman was brilliant. I mean,
Very good.
where he made him say, "Oh, yeah, very good." I think the tweet came later, but the first he was bowled out by that
Yeah.
question that no woman can become the chief of credit where it's due. So one of the questions he asked Joy was, "So your mother's not going to come back and lead the party?" And Joy said, "Oh, no, she's too old." Right? Joy said this. Just watch the interview. In fact, I'll quote from that interview. Now that happens, right? So that gives a certain kind of signaling. Now there is the presser, okay, in Delhi at Foreign Correspondents Club, where where former Army League ministers are asked, so is she not the head of the party anymore? To which they say, oh no, she is. Okay, she is. She's our leader, and she's going to lead us. So these are contradictory. Then comes the third thing. So in Calcutta, I don't know if I've told you. So I had a talk around my book, Inshallah Bangladesh, in
Yeah,
Calcutta.
I saw the
So
tweet. Yes.
Swapanda was there, Swapandas Gupta. So it was. So I said, no, let this be, because since Bangladesh is not a BJP or a government of India matter, Bangladesh is something that affects every political party. So I insisted that we should have representatives of other parties. So somebody from Congress came, somebody from the left came, Saira Shah Halim. So they were all there, and Joy. Uh, so very interesting. So if I can take a minute, so Joy
Yeah.
was told by the Army League guys that you should does this book talk. Why don't you come? And it's just before the elections. So Joy said, "Okay, I'll come." And then I think a day before, certain people from the Army League ecosystem sent him screenshots of my book where I have been very critical of the Army League, and I have been okay because I was not writing a pro Army League book anyway. And in fact, the book has no heroes. So he got very naturally, he got very angry that this is very critical of not just my mother, but also of my grandfather, Sheikh Mujib. I was very critical of Mujib. Okay, some of the things he did 1946 and later. I was extremely critical of the so-called July uprising, and of totally critical of Yunus. But I was also very critical of. In fact, my chapter was termed "Good Hasina, Bad Hasina." Okay, so anyway, Joy finally came. Okay, and the reason I'm narrating this story to you, Adi, is because he came and he addressed this thing, the gathering. Okay, he took questions. So it was a very good interaction. It was a packed hall in Calcutta, and he took questions from Swapanda and from my co-author Shahidul. But apparently, within the Army League, it has not gone down well, that event, because they see this event as something which is creating a rift between the mother and son. Okay, and some Indian journalists, I won't take names, who get to speak to Sheikh Hasina more often, they have been telling her, oh, this is not good, and they even planted a story in local press, Bengali press,
Yeah.
against the book and against the event. Okay, you know of this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I
so
actually
that's
tweeted
okay.
about
I mean,
this.
I'm very welcoming of criticism. So please write very critically about the book. That I'd welcome that. But it's not about the book or me also. What I found interesting is that, boss, you guys are not even in Bangladesh. Your party has been thrown out of power. You have taken refuge in India. Do not fight among each other. Please be a united whole, because these are very very bad times. And post results, it's even worse for you. So there are already these sort of divisions within the party which are widening by the day, which is very very scary for the Army League. So I don't
I
know how
somehow
to.
I somehow don't see the viability of Awami League unless and until
Army
some
League
new leader,
anymore, because if India starts doing business with BNP, look,
which it will.
BNP's which they're doing, track record has been bad. But like I said, the 17 years have 17 for 17 years. Tariq has been in London.
Yeah.
BNP has been out of power for very long. Khaleda Zia is no more. It's a new India. It's also a new Bangladesh. We don't know. We'll have to wait and watch. We can hope for the best. I don't know where it leaves the Army League. The only thing is that if BNP decides that Jamaat as an opposition is risky, so he may at one point want to go back to the Army League BNP binary in Bangladeshi politics.
Lift the ban. Will they lift the ban?
Lift the ban, but I don't think Sheikh Hasina is going to go back.
Yeah, I don't think so. Mm, mm, mm. What happens to the this guy has a history, Tariq. Uh,
Yeah,
Pro
yeah,
Pakistan, pro separatist in
yes,
India.
yes,
He spent some time in jail, then he ran away. All that
yes.
stuff is there.
He was tortured and all of that. I
Yeah.
mean,
So what
yeah.
happens to all that now? Does he stick with that element? Do you think
I don't
he
think
has?
he'll stick with that element, because he will need the Bangladesh army to back him up.
Yeah.
So he can't hold grouse against the Bangladesh army, which tortured him. He would not want a fracture in the Bangladesh army. See, now he has the mandate. He will have to bring people together. In fact, uh, somebody called me in the morning before your show and said that, Dada, are you happy that the Jamaat guys are being beaten up? I said, I'm never happy if somebody is beaten up. I mean, why should I be happy? I mean, it's not something to celebrate.
Yeah.
But it's the Jamaat, so what does one say? So I mean, it's a gray area. It's a huge gray for me, that am I happy that Jamaat guys are being beaten up? But he cannot go on. I mean, there are already appeals on Facebook from journalists I know, who's telling him that, you can't do this because you have won a decisive mandate. And in fact, Dr. Shafiqur Rahman held a presser where he said that, don't take our gentleness as weakness. I mean, which is of course laughable. But he said, I mean, he was replying. I mean, some of the NCP guys, both people who have won and lost, they have been putting up videos of people who have been slapped around and heckled and houses burnt. All of those things have happened. I'm worried about the minority, Hindu minority, because the word on the street is they came out decisively to vote for the BNP.
PNP.
And see, the BNP did not appeal to the Hindu minority the way the Jamaat did. Krishna Nandi, that idiot we spoke about, the Jamaat candidate, he in fact gave a speech where he said that if Jamaat comes to power, Hindus will be kept as son-in-laws in the country. But obviously they didn't vote
Chickens for
decisively for.
KFC, man. Chickens for
Yeah, it's
freaking
crazy.
KFC.
Yeah, so if they have voted so decisively for the BNP,
Mm.
and if Jamaat is angry, who's going to face the brunt of any social unrest that happens between the new ruling dispensation and the opposition. So one is,
Okay, that makes sense. What happens to Yunus now? Does he still remain the president, or
I
he gets?
think there is no. I'd be surprised if Yunus gets anything, because I don't think Tariq would want to. I mean, there's not a mandate to keep Yunus. I mean, what will Yunus do?
So I thought there was a deal at the back.
Yeah, but that was when you did not know what's going to happen. That was the time when Shafiqur Rahman spoke of a unity government.
Yeah.
But Tariq has the mandate. I mean, why will he keep Yunus? For what good? What can
So
Yunus give him?
it's adios, amigos.
Adios, amigos. I mean, I'd be surprised. I mean, that means that, I mean, this kind of mandate, why do you need Yunus? I mean, everybody will deal with him directly. The Americans will
Yeah.
deal with him, Indians will deal with him, everybody will deal with him.
Let me ask you a twisted question.
Yeah.
So let's say Yunus checks out. Will Tariq go after Yunus and the Jamaat, breaking down their currently built structures? Because see, at the end of it, I would do that. I would do it.
Yes.
Why? Because
If he
I don't want these guys to be my opposition going forward. I want
Yes,
their
and
structures to
which
be
is
weakened up.
yes, which is where the opening is for in the future. I don't know how long that future, how long, how far that future is, but that is the future of the Army League in Bangladesh, a post Hasina Army League, because you need very interesting thing that he said. when Shafiqur during the sort of campaign. So Tariq said, and which actually made me sort of respect his political acumen. So when Dr. Shafiqur Rahman went on saying unity government, everybody should come together to form a government so that country can be run properly, he said that what is a unity government? There is a ruling dispensation in a democracy and there is an opposition, right? If there is a unity government, where is the opposition? So that's a
There.
very important statement. So if he needs an opposition, then he would need. I think Army League is a better opposition than Jamaat, who you can't trust, though they were your allies before.
See the Pakistani influence, whatever said and done, Tariq won't want that much of the Pakistani influence in the structure. He
See,
won't want
with
that.
this kind, yeah, with this kind of mandate, he will have to do something for his country. Forget Indian interest. He will have to do
Yeah.
something for his country. That's where Indian interest comes. Because what can Pakistan give you except some ammunition to try and harm India, right? I mean, that can't be a mandate for somebody who wants to now stick on to power. He's a young guy. He's 58 years old.
Yeah,
That's
that's what. I
yeah.
mean,
That's he's a young leader. By
he can be a
yeah,
leader for next 20 years, yeah.
yes, he can stick on to power forever.
Yeah.
So for that, he will need the Army League back because an Awami League without, see, joy is in America. Joy has to be tested, right? I mean, you can sit in America, talk to Al Jazeera, talk to Delhi media, which is good for us, of course, but give interviews and always welcome. But politics is not really fought like that. Politics is fought when
Yeah.
you go on the ground, right? Go on the ground, meet people, people know you, so that kind of thing. So imagine, so everything in Army League was centered around Sheikh Hasina. Now, if you bring in, if you lift the ban, so see, Army League is not banned. Technically, its political activities are banned. So suppose the government comes in and says that, look, boss, there are two things. There is the ICT verdict. Okay, now he's not going to. I mean, he's not a fool. He's not going to say, oh, the ICT was had jihadis, so no, this verdict is wrong. He'll stick to the verdict. It's a verdict. So Sheikh Hasina has the death penalty, but in all fairness, the ban on the political activities of the Army League should be lifted. Okay, so which means what? Sheikh Hasina can't come in, so she won't go in to face the death penalty, right? And there are hundreds of other cases against her. So which means a Army League comes in without Sheikh Hasina, right? So he also appears to be this magnanimous leader who is pro
Benevolent,
democracy.
magnanimous guy. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, and in the next election, if it happens after 5 years, if all things go right, that's enough time for the Army League to regroup and pose and become the opposition, right? Not break the 68 that the Jamaat got. Now, he would also want to contain the Army League because Army League has a big vote. So when he does that, remains to be seen. But I think at some point he will realize that he can't trust. I think between the Army League and the Jamaat, who he trusts more. I mean, one has to wait and watch.
It's so funny, I must say.
Yeah,
I've,
yeah,
I've just been having bouts of laughter every time I think about it. But it's really funny when I see what is happening there. I have a
yeah,
couple of more questions, and these are going to be the pivots now.
yeah,
Geopolitically, there is
yeah.
a battle between China and America within Bangladesh, right? We are
Yes,
sitting there, we are doing whatever we want to, and we will get our
yes,
way out. It's right there, so
yes,
it's not going to,
yeah,
even Yunus had to bend in a lot of places. But
yes.
geopolitically, this battle, the great power battle within Bangladesh between the Americans and the Chinese, how do you think this is going to go?
This will go on. This might be a. This might. I don't know. I mean, since we talk so freely, was this part of the trade deal that okay, you get your politics, you get your some of your security concerns addressed. Maybe not. We don't know. There's no way. I have no way of knowing. You'd know, perhaps, but I have no way of knowing.
It's
But
too early to
uh,
say.
but
It's
I
too early
think
to say. I would keep my eye on it.
India will be allowed some kind of leverage between in as far as its security concerns are there because Bangladeshi terrain cannot be. You can't have Pakistan on two sides, right? Some of the agreements will go on, but the battle between China and America will continue, and it depends on Tariq. So Sheikh Hasina got very American. Sheikh Hasina did not get along, right? I mean, see,
Right.
there is a narrative issue, the narrative problem here. People accuse Sheikh Hasina of being very pro India. We have discussed this. She was not very pro India when it came to she was quite good in balancing. Okay, she only kept our security concerns in mind. That was a red line she didn't cross.
She didn't
But
address them. She just kept them in mind, and when situation
yes,
went out
yes,
of control, she did something to calm it down. That's her.
yes.
Yeah.
But the point is, Tariq might do a balancing act between China and America. Because America, like Sheikh Hasina did between China and India, Tariq might do a China America India thing.
Yeah.
That he'll keep everybody
I
happy.
think
So I
I
think
agree with
none
you.
of the players are leaving the field.
I think we will gain quite a bit in Bangladesh. There's no question, because at the end of it, you will gain one in influence. Two, they can't do anything without us. They
Yes,
have to do the Ganga deal. They have to do the Brahmaputra thing.
yes,
They have to do the test will be the Tista water, right?
yes,
If they get online and whatever was happening, let that happen. Tista is the testing point to me. I'd
yeah,
make my judgments after that, because if there's Tariq has not said anything about this thing, but only statement that he gave is, oh, there were a lot of imbalances in what agreements that were done with Sheikh Hasina. We need to just readdress them, and I think everything will be all right, sort of a thing.
yes,
Fair enough. That's a that's a statement. That's all.
yes. See, he also will need to. There is like I said. I mean, I wrote also yesterday that the anti-India sentiment is not going to die down overnight. So he
Yeah.
also will have to address that constituency. So whether it is in terms of deals or whatever, he will have to do a balance. And,
Mm, mm.
I
Showcase a
mean, it
victory,
was
sort of a thing.
yeah. Sheikh
Yeah.
Hasina also got very arrogant towards the end, and she didn't give an F about what people are saying in her country. That's not prudent.
Now,
So I mean,
there is
while
also
he
the
would,
security.
while he will perhaps not allow the blatant anti-Indianism on the streets of Dhaka, he will also from
Mhm.
time to time want to show that he's not a puppet government. He's not running a puppet government, which is fair enough. I mean,
So we spoke about Yunus. What about
yeah.
the rest of his pluntus? What happens to them? They've
I
got
have to check.
Dominican Republic.
From a friend in Dhaka. I got a list of people who are leaving Dhaka. So I
Yeah.
have to check the list. You must have also got it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah.
think they are all they would. So I don't think this current dispensation, like I said, Adi, this does not favor a lot of people. This election result does not favor a lot of people. I think in the Yunus administration, I mean, see, BNP is a very old political party. I mean, it has been in power in Bangladesh. So Tariq maybe he's not new to politics, but he's new to administration. I mean, he's never been in administration officially, but there are people, Mirza Fakhrul and all of them, who are very
Yeah,
seasoned politicians. Yeah. So
yeah,
so I mean,
yeah.
why would you need these guys here who have made a mess of things? What would you need them for? The country have been to jail. Some of their leaders have been to very senior leader. Mirza Fakhrul has spent a lot of time in jail.
Yeah. My last question, or last
Yeah.
section actually, is the army.
Yes.
Now, Wakar still has time,
Yes.
2027 March or something he goes.
Huh.
There is an opposition to him with that Shafiqur Rahman and all these guys who are there inside the other side. They've been trying
Yes.
to, the third attempt of a coup, soft coup, with this Khalilur Rahman, who's the NSA. By the way, just for the audience, the Shafiqur Rahman is another Lieutenant General who's the Quartermaster General right now.
Mm.
And, he keeps creating chaos, and he's had three coup attempts against the current army chief.
Yeah.
The last one was done with the help of the current NSA, who's a US citizen, by the way. What happens to all this now? What happens to the army?
There is
What
already
does
some there's already some chatter about keeping the old NSA because apparently he's very effective. I saw it on like several chats and social media posts.
Hmm.
With Tariq, the army is a touchy issue because there's a blood feud. Section of the army killed his father,
Yeah.
though I know people keep blaming India for it. But section of his own army killed his father, who also, if you remember, killed a lot of army men when he came to power.
Section of the army also killed Sheikh Hasina's father.
Sheikh Hasina's father. Then
So
a section of the army picked up Tariq,
yeah,
tortured him,
yeah.
right? And soon after he left his country. So I think, and now the army is fractured fractured more than perhaps it has been for a while in recent years, thanks to
Hmm.
the Yunus led interim government.
Yeah.
So I think he has to let the army be, while keeping a very keen eye on it. He should not, I think, engineer any more divisions, or he should try to keep it as professional as it possibly can be. So I don't know. I don't know. You are better equipped than me to talk about this. How do you rate the army chief, the serving army chief? What
He's
are
weak at best. I mean, if he's needed, he's had three coup attempts and he's not punished anybody till now. He's weak at best.
mm,
Anybody else, you tell me, if you were in his place, you would have by now. I mean, there's no rule of law. Pick up that Shafiqur Rahman from his house and buddy hang him by his tail. Khatam.
yeah.
You've got the entire force with you, yeah. Okay, fine. There's a sectionality, right? So there are three sections: pro Awami League. There is a central section, and then there is the pro Jamaat. Get these two together. Get the two-thirds with you, and clean up the place. I would have done that, or you would have done that by now. Any smart person would have done that. This
Yes.
guy seems
Yes.
very,
He's
you
weak,
know,
right?
yeah,
But if he would have done that, would he also not have taken the command of the, not just the army, the country by now?
yeah.
Because
He
Yunus
should have.
is how Yunus, he should have, right? So he didn't do it. So it's a tough choice. Who do you replace him by? Or
Yeah,
you let him retire, and then who do you bring in? Because there's also that fear, and he knows what happens to his own family.
yeah.
Uh,
Or he gets into extension politics.
yes. So I think the army remains a very important decision, how he deals with the army for Tariq Rahman.
Lastly, there are issues on the borders, right? There's of
Yes.
course the so-called Operation Pushback from India,
Yeah.
uh, which is pretty heavy. There is, of course, the issues with the Myanmar. This thing. There's issues with Teknaf. There's issues with the whole Chittagong. By the way, Chittagong voting BNP.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So
Yeah.
there's that issue there as well, where there are certain other countries which have interests. Leave it
Yeah.
apart who. Uh,
Yeah.
what happens to the security in terms of Bangladesh?
I think this is something Delhi should be very firm about. We are being very generous with the new government. Delhi should make it very clear, as it did with Hasina, and that you do not tinker with this. Trade is okay, but trade should happen. But India's security concerns should be paramount. I mean, you should not use your land to harm India in any way. I think
Hmm.
this is a red line India should draw. It's great to welcome Tariq and greet Tariq and extend an olive branch, especially after what happened. But I think this is something India should be very strict about. You should deal with India's security concerns pretty much how Sheikh Hasina dealt with them most of the time.
Yeah, I hope not like Sheikh Hasina, yeah, because she was a eyewash.
Yeah,
I I was not a fan of hers anywhere because she, if again, I just don't understand. She knew what the game was. She knew the bloody Jamaat was rising up. She never did anything with them.
yeah.
Kept soft peddling them. Kept
A
soft
lot of
peddling.
our we also, I mean, journalists, I mean, you know this, journalists and sort of political commentators and Bangladesh experts, they make this easy binary. But a lot of the radicalism that has happened in Bangladesh over the past decade has been because of Hasina.
Yeah,
Why did Jamaat win the Dhaka University Students' Union? Because it was during Sheikh Hasina's time that madrasa students got a concession to enter colleges and universities. And why will you give that concession? Why will you not put them through the kind of test that every other person will go through? Right. So obviously the numbers swelled. Now, if they have to vote, who will they vote for? Will they vote for your students' union, the students' union of BNP, or the Jamaat? So
she
you
didn't finish the
even
She
when
didn't.
they sorry,
She didn't finish the tribunals. She didn't
no, she didn't
finish.
finish the trial. Yes.
Her own father's case is still pending.
Yes, the
She did.
2013, I would say, if you ask me, the 2013 upheaval that happened, those secular
Yeah,
bloggers,
yeah,
that was a real revolution post 71. That
yeah.
was something. I mean, one could argue that there were two Charlie Hebdo. I mean, they're like a lot of them were
I know.
atheists and all of that. But I mean, that was really something. It really spoke for quote unquote completely misused word liberalism.
Yeah.
it actually spoke about a Bangladesh which could have risen above religiosity, and she did not do anything to stop the killings of the secular blogger. People were killed on the road with machetes. And one murder I can understand, but then the full force of law should come down on people who are doing it. So
Yeah.
that was empowering the radicals on the streets.
The only thing that gave Delhi solace was she kept Pakistan away. That's all.
Yeah, yeah, because
I
she
think
could.
that's the,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's the only thing I
So I
saw.
think I
Otherwise,
think India's foreign policy vis-a-vis Bangladesh, Delhi should also be a little nuanced. Delhi should also
yeah,
sort of. This is a wake-up call. I know our yours and mine, our people who listen to us or engage with us, they think Delhi does nothing wrong, but Delhi should also get nuanced
no, no,
when it
no,
comes.
absolutely. I've criticized this multiple times, and I'll say it again at the behest of having criticism coming to my face. We failed in Myanmar, we failed in Bangladesh, we failed in just about failed in Bhutan and pulled it back. We failed
Yeah,
in Sri Lanka, we failed in Maldives, we failed in Nepal. We
yeah,
failed in all these things in recognizing a simple fact that you can't play one side all the time. You have to play both the sides.
yeah,
The day we realized it, we won back Bhutan, we won back Sri Lanka, we won back Maldives, we won back Nepal, and I'm sure we'll be able to do figure something out in Bangladesh now. And we are
yes,
now starting to play the game in Myanmar. We never
yeah,
realized that we need to play both the sides. We're a big power. Ideology. I mean, I was having this argument with someone the other day. I said, why don't we talk to the Jamaat? Bribe them. Oh
yeah,
no, you can't trust these guys. I'm not asking to trust. मैं बेटी थोड़ी बयानी है उसके साथ. I don't want to get my daughter married to the Jamaat guys, yaar. I want to get my shit done. Pakistan is
yeah,
giving you $100,000. I'll give you 110. Get your ass here. At 120, I'm sure he'll be doing sit-ups in front of you. And that fact needs to be very clear. It's a transactional relationship which we need to understand. We forgot that. So I keep criticizing this that we can't be so one-sided with things.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It can't be done. So if you're dealing with Tariq, you also deal with the Awami League. Ensure that they
yeah,
are built up. Create
yeah,
the funding for them. Create the this thing platform for them. Give them some social media help. Build them up. Build up their return to into Bangladeshi politics. Create a leader figure. Do all that stuff. क्या फर्क पड़ता है आपको? What's the big deal?
yeah,
And Tariq would actually appreciate it because he would want some sort of a valid opposition so that he can do his stuff. So I take
yeah,
what you're saying, and I've been critical about this very, very clearly for since the day I started this channel. And
yeah,
now I'm saying, okay, fine, we've recovered out of that situation in most of the countries. Nepal
yeah,
is still work in progress. Uh, Bangladesh now work in progress. The rest of the countries you've kind of worked it. I don't consider Pakistan as a country, so let that be. There's no way you can talk to them. So I take your point, but yeah, we need to be a little more pragmatic. Deep Saab, always a pleasure. This has been a one heck of a discussion, I must say.
yeah, yeah, yeah. This was a good one. I mean, I
Good
think
one.
we are both relieved and happy. I mean, because Bangladesh was such a, my God. I mean, yeah,
No, we'll have to keep a track of what is happening because
yeah,
there's going to be a lot of
yeah.
moves taking place. Yeah,
Yes,
and
yes, yes,
my presumption, and I don't know if you agree with me, Tista is going to be the marking line between the two
yes,
countries.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
They'll say Hasina's extradition, but it will be actually with Ista.
Tista. So
Yeah,
if that thing works out properly, and there's no chick chack, there's nothing. I think
yeah,
the tensions will reduce. And well, what happens after that? The hidden thing that you said you will tell me about one or two podcasts later. So that's two
yeah.
podcasts more, and then we talk about that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Till then, thank you so much
Thank you so
for
much.
your time. Always a pleasure,
Thank
sir. You guys, audience, please read his books. Deep is really, really amazing in his analysis of that region. And please read about his history, read about what all he's done, so you kind of realize why I keep getting him, and I really respect his views when he comes onto the platform. So please like, subscribe, and of course follow him on X, and of course his books as well. And most importantly, don't forget to contribute towards the channel if you can. Check out the description for further details. Namaskar.